What's up, guys? Welcome to Box to Box Football. And yes, he's back again. Me and Jack back in the cup. Been gone for a while, not Premier League football, but we're here. We're here to grace you with our presence. And let's get into the football that happened today. Let's talk about what games we could get into first. Let's talk about Spurs. Spurs versus Fulham. Game finished 1-1. Jack, what do you think of that game?
Fulham played really, really well. I'm pretty sure in my predictions I did have Fulham finishing just outside of the relegation zone, and it may not sound like that's much of a compliment if you've got a team finishing like, I don't know, 17th. Like, it's not a lot of credit going flying around there. But the reason why I think a lot of people had them relegation candidates is because the quality wasn't there. Some of the stalwarts from years past, Tom Kearney, Mitrovic, these kinds of guys weren't really there anymore. But I think you can see that the whole midfield's changed, and Scott Parker does have something going on there. But I'd say there's more of a comment would be that Tottenham really did have kind of a bit of an off day. And you know that when Son hit the post, the inside of that right-hand post, I think, what was it, around 60, 70 minutes or so, that was always going to come back and bite Jose. Spurs' first goal was amazing. That's one of the most clean football goals I think I've ever seen. Just long ball from, who's that signing from South Højbjerg, Reguilon, Kane, and just beautiful pass, beautiful cross, beautiful header. But Fulham worked really hard, and I'll be honest, they deserved the draw. Not many times can a worser team go and then, say that they really kind of came to fight, but they had the ball, they wanted to play, they wanted to be aggressive, and there were points there during the last few minutes where they were actually trying to win the game. You know what I mean? So I think a draw is all credit to them, and I do think Fulham will stay up. I really do.
If I was Fulham, say that they deserve the draw. If you're Scotty Parker, when you look at the way the game went, you must have thought that you probably should have won the game.
Yep.
I don't get angry with football a lot. I try to be calm, but there was a moment where it was a 2v1 around the 80th minute. Kamara, all he has to do is look up and play the ball to Lookman, who was I'll get to him in a minute. He doesn't. Head down, going. He gets tackled. He loses the ball, and I went ballistic because those type of moments easily define games. It's not even a hard pass. It's not even something that an average player would struggle to do. And by him not picking out that player, really, go on, Jack.
Do you think he had? I don't think he had the ball under him properly. I think it was a bit behind him. If there were players coming in, don't get me wrong, better players would have been able to get the ball under control and play that pass. But I think his first touch kind of let him down, and I don't know if he even had the opportunity really to play a decent pass. I don't know if you.
Jack, if you look at the whole footage, the one thing that actually ticked me off through that whole part, he never looked up. He never looked up to see what's around him. If he does, it's no matter how much the ball is stuck under, like underneath you can still generate enough power to get it to Lookman, because it wasn't that hard of a pass. Like when you look at Højbjerg was in a position to stop him from going down the line, and there was just Lookman was in so much space. It's an easy pass, even if the ball is underneath him. He should have done better. That really ticked me off. But I want to talk about Lookman.
Okay.
He's on, and a few weeks ago he had the missed penalty, and everyone was making fun of him there. But he was a massive spark. For Fulham today. There was a big moment where he receives the ball on the halfway line. He drives, picks out Loftus-Cheek, and to be honest, probably should have done better. Yeah. But overall, you're looking at this Fulham team, and they might not be the most talented team. They have something about them, and to me that goes back to Scotty Parker, not just as a manager, but to him as a player. I remember him at West Ham, the grit, the determination, the will to win. He was all of that.
Did you see the bit where Lamella, the ball had gone out for a throw, and Lamella wanted to get the ball and have a quick throw, but then Scott Parker went, "Oh yeah, I'll get the ball for you," and then butterfingers, it slipped through my fingers. Oh, sorry. And I turned, I was watching it with my dad, and I said to my dad, Scott Parker's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. Like he's trying to win.
Exactly. He knows what he's doing, and he did this at West Ham as as the captain. Again, watching his Fulham team. Let me just get the table up in front of me right now. Watching his Fulham team. It might not be the most talented, but they're right now 16th in the table, 2 points away from the drop with 2 games in hand. There's a huge possibility with players like Lookman, with players like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, with players like Mitrovic. There is a chance that they can stay off. And Scotty Parker, yeah, he might not be the most tactical guy in the world, but he has a lot of heart. He's been around the block as a player, and I give them a big chance of staying up.
Well, their defensive record is solid. They've conceded the same amount of goals as Manchester United, who are top of the table, which is actually quite a shocking statistic, really, if you think about it. So if they can just somebody like Lookman can bring that spark and they can score a few more goals while keeping that same defensive effort, they're definitely capable of certainly more than avoiding relegation, more mid-table. Final thing, James. So everybody knows in the Premier League you get 3 substitutions. Fulham used theirs. Jose Mourinho used 2, and he didn't use his 3rd substitution. Dele Alli's on the bench. Gareth Bale's on the bench. What do you make of 1-1 against Fulham at home? You're not bringing on Gareth Bale or Dele Alli? What's going on there?
Okay. I remember when Gareth Bale just signed for Tottenham again, and I was scared because if I remember the old Gareth Bale, he was receiving it 30 yards away from goal, dropping a shoulder and whipping it into the top corner week in and week out. He was honestly the most devastating thing I've seen in the last 10 years in the Premier League. And after that's what Bale I thought that they were going to get. I thought they were going to get an angry Bale, a Bale who's hungry, who wants to show everyone that he's still the player that we think he is. But Real Madrid clearly seen something in Bale and realized that he's not the same player. He hasn't given the same attitude. And Tottenham and Jose Mourinho are probably realizing the exact same thing. There's no reason for this guy not to be playing. Tottenham went away to team in the FA Cup. Who they face in the FA Cup on Sunday?
Marinas.
Yeah,
Marine.
Yeah. Gareth Bale isn't even on it in a starting 11. So what does that really tell? I understand he's recovering from injuries, but how many injuries are you could this player possibly have? It just shows you right now that for some reason Mourinho has lacked faith in this guy. I honestly thought we were going to see a deadly duo, a deadly trio. We're only seeing a duo right now, and if any one of them duo gets injured, Tottenham are in serious trouble. Let's move on over to City versus Brighton. 1-0 to Man City. They have 32 points right now. They win their game in hand. They go to 35, 1 point off the top of the league. And according to Jack, Man City don't have enough goals to win the league. Are you going to backtrack on this, Jack, or are you still going to stick with your stance?
I stand by it. I mean, the only reason they're in the position they're in is because of their defensive record, and how brilliant Ruben Diaz has been. He's been fantastic there. Resurgence of John Stones as well, and I think City, Pep.
Also, Jack, what happened to your guy Laporte? Because I know how much you loved him. What's going on with him?
Well, I'll be honest. Pre-season, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have Ruben Diaz and Laporte in the centre-back partnership. This might be the best centre-back partnership in the world. I'm pretty sure I said that on our predictions video. Yeah. I was like, well, City are going to have the best centre-back partnership in the world, so that's all good. And then he's kind of fallen off a little bit. But Ruben Diaz has looked the part. Look, City, 16 games, they've conceded 13 goals. That's unbelievable. The amount of clean sheets in there, 4 wins in a row. I was just looking at their matches coming up, James, as well. Palace at home. Okay, Villa at home is tricky, but City really should win that. West Brom away should really win that. Sheffield United at home should win that. Burnley away should win that. Then, obviously, in a row, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal. And then there's a West Ham game, and then there's a Manchester derby. So they've got this nice little run, but this 4-game in a row win streak they've got could easily turn into 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row that they win before they play Liverpool. It's not pretty. There's not enough goals. But if the defensive record holds up and they keep winning these games, they can keep grinding out results. I still think that this isn't sustainable. These 1-0 victories, I just don't feel. I feel like, City are conceding one goal away from a draw in nearly every single game.
First of all, the thing I love about Pep Guardiola the most is that he doesn't rest players. No matter what game it is, if it's a League Cup game against Stevenage, he's playing his best team because he's a big advocate for momentum, and he realizes that this Man City team has picked up momentum. He could have rest players in the weekend in an FA Cup game, still got the players going, got goals. But me watching this Brighton game today, the game finished 1-0. And you mentioned how the lack of goals in this Manchester City team. Manchester City are going to create a bunch of chances. Why? Because they're the most creative team in the Premier League and have so many players that can unlock a door with an amazing pass. The fact of the matter is, they're struggling to score goals. This is generally a game that should have been out of sight. Last season, Man City probably would have scored 3 or 4 easily. Raheem Sterling.
In all competitions, I'm pretty sure Phil Foden is their top scorer.
He probably is.
And shout out to him, by the way. He had a game. I tweeted, Phil Foden is playing like Jack Wilshere should have been for the past 5 or 6 years. But shout out to Phil Foden for coming through, being patient. Making sure. I'm sure Pep was telling him, just be patient, take your time, and he's done that. He's trained hard, very clearly, and he's a hell of a player. He's still only 20, and he's becoming really, really important to this Man City team. It's nice having an English player be kind of an important part of the Man City team.
But me looking at this Man City team, they're struggling to score goals, but they're also struggling to score goals from the penalty spot.
Right.
They were able to miss against Liverpool in a vital game. Could you imagine if they were able to pick the 3 points up against Liverpool? And today, I understand it probably would have been a goal just to help the goal difference, but Sterling missed a penalty and he blazed it over the bar. And the first thing, the camera went straight to Guardiola, and the first thing he said was Gundogan. It seems like Man City don't have a designated penalty taker. It's getting swapped here or there around the place, and it's the exact same thing with goals right now. I like goals to be shared around the pitch, but you need your designated goal scorer. If something's going wrong, he'll be the one to bail us out with goals. They don't seem to have that right now. Sterling goals have really dried up from this terrible penalty. Mahrez, he's here, there, but not consistent enough. De Bruyne, we know about the assists. He's carrying a massive load right now.
Yeah, he can do it all himself, can he?
Exactly. Jesus, we need a lot more from him going forward. And Phil Foden, to be fair, he's been absolutely brilliant. But you're right. I think the goals need to come from somewhere. But they're winning games, Jack. And that's
look, and I'll be honest. Look, if Man City win every single game for the rest of the year 1-0, right, in this magical land that I've created, then I'll just go, you know what? I was wrong. They didn't need to score more goals. It's fine. However, as a coach, as a player, when you've played, there's a certain level of if you're only winning by 1 goal margins consistently, all that means is that the other team just has to score 1 goal and you've dropped 2 points. If, God forbid, they scored 2 goals, that it's a loss. They have the best defensive record in the league, which makes up for it. But, I'm just looking at the table here. Sorry, we're going to...
And Jack, to be fair, you're right, because as soon as Sterling missed the penalty in the 90th minute, Brighton get 2 free kicks to swing it into area, the goalkeeper comes up, and in football you never know. Imagine if that have went in, and Man City would have dropped points there after having a penalty. They need to find a way to really start killing off teams, to be fair.
In the top 10 teams at the moment, so from West Ham up to Manchester United, Man City have the second least goals. And they're in third with a game in hand. They could go a point behind the leaders, and they've scored one more goal than West Ham have. Now, compare that to their defensive record. They've only conceded 13 goals. That's the best in the league. So that's what's winning them games at the moment. But I just don't feel like it's sustainable. We've talked about this a million times. Lautaro Martinez comes through the door. whoever that
Even then, he's not. But even then, he's not like a killer goal scorer. It's hard to find that killer goal scorer right now. If in Inter Milan team, it's mainly Lukaku.
But he'd be able to score way more goals than Jesus at the moment. Aguero, who we keep being told he's a week away, 2 weeks away from playing. He's making benches, but he's not playing. Like you say, Sterling's goals are drying up. I really think that 20-year-old Phil Foden, who's only really recently broken into a first team regular starter role, being your top goal scorer is really saying something.
Yeah, but also I tell you who we need to give massive credit to is John Stones, because last year he was written off. I remember he had a massive mistake against Holland, and not just Man City written him off, but England written him off, and he's just got back into form right now, and that's credit to him. He's taken a 50-60 million pound player like Laporte out of the team right now, and has gained Guardiola's trust again. So that's a massive bonus for them. But they need to start scoring goals.
Yeah, and the other thing though, I think, and this is the thing I think I want to major on, because I don't want it to be all negative. I mean, they won the game and they got a clean sheet. It's good. It's good form. It's 4 wins in a row. It's the best over the last 4 games. It's the best form in the league because they won every single game. No other team can match that. This 4-game win streak, like I said a second ago, this could turn into a 9-game win streak very easy. Very easy. And you're not going to put it past a team like Manchester City to do it. Now, Villa have a potent goal threat. There are some 1 or 2 tricky away games there, like the West Brom game. I know that's not strictly going to be easy with Big Sam and the way he likes to do things. But Man City, we could very well be talking in 4 or 5 game weeks. They could be top of the table.
But they don't have enough goals to win the league, Jack.
I still stand by that. But I'm always willing to be proven wrong.
Guys, tell me what you think right now. Tottenham versus Fulham, Man City versus Brighton. Everything we've speaking about today, guys. Tell us what you think. Comment down below. Box to box football. Jack and James, thank you for watching, and we will catch you.